Have you ever used a themed scrapbooking kit like a birthday kit or maybe one that's designed for wedding layouts for a layout that has nothing to do with the theme of the kit? Well, today I'm doing just that to create this 8.5 by 11 layout all about my daughter and her crazy obsession with Starbucks cake balls. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back to the Victoria Marie YouTube channel. If scrapbooking is your jam, then you're going to want to click subscribe, because that's what I do here on this channel, is I create all things scrapbooking. And when you hit subscribe, click the bell indicator. That way you'll know each and every time a new video is posted. So as I mentioned in the intro, I'm using this kit called Hooray from Crepe Paper, and it's designed for maybe birthday purposes, cards, layouts, and that type of thing. However, I wanted to scrapbook these photos of my daughter. We were at a Kroger grocery store, which also has a Starbucks in it. And every time we go to Starbucks, she wants a cake ball. And so I wanted to document that. It's just kind of her thing. But I didn't have anything laying around that really met the theme of the layout. And this is not a birthday layout, but I loved this kit so much. I grabbed a lot of elements from Tuesday morning from this kit because that's where I found it. And I thought that I would use it. So I'm showing you the elements that come in this collection. Was able, I think, to get almost all the elements from Tuesday morning in this collection, which is really cool. Then I have some cutoffs that I cut out on my silhouette that were just left over from a previous project that I actually recorded for my patrons. And so I decided to use those gold glitter stars on this layout as well. Using a piece of textured white cardstock, I trimmed that down to 8.5 by 11, and then I trimmed about 1/8 of an inch off of this pattern paper that comes in the paper pack, the Hooray paper pack. I also resized my photos to a little bit under 3 by 3 because I wanted to make sure that my photos fit on the layout, and I really wanted to zoom in on my daughter holding her cake ball, her Starbucks drink, and her favorite blanket nibble. Yes, she does name her blankets, and that one's been around with her since she's been in the world. So I went ahead and added a tag to this that came in the die cut pack for this collection. I'm also going to add a frame. Now, true to form, whenever I'm working with frames or tags, I like to add a little bit of twine to it. And of course, I don't make that decision until I've actually stuck the item down or added some adhesive. So I decided for this frame to add just a little bit of twine. This is from American Crafts. It's black and white twine. And of course, the twine's getting stuck on the adhesive part that I had put on that frame, but that's okay. We're gonna make it work. I'm just gonna wrap that around one side of the frame just to add a little bit of texture and interest. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of foam so that the frame stands up. I like doing this technique because sometimes you wanna do something a little bit different on your layout. And it doesn't have to be like this big extraordinary thing. You can add a little bit of twine or a little bit of glitter or a little bit of something to jazz up your elements and alter them for the design that you want to create for your layout. So I'm trimming up that twine just a little bit. There's some fraying there. I'm going to add some adhesive to the little foam strips that I cut using some fun foam. You can find fun foam at like your local Walmart or any craft and hobby store, really. Really easy to use on a scrapbook page. I'm going to add that frame to the bottom photo just to give a little bit of interest, because those photos, even though her expression is slightly different, upon first look, it doesn't look as though it is. I'm going to add this die cut that says Eat Cake. And of course, I wanted to use this birthday theme because there's a lot of elements referencing eating cake, and she's eating a cake ball. So even though this is not a birthday kit, it still works. Or a birthday layout, it still works. I have another little die cut that says Yay. And I'm going to add a little bit of fun, not fun. Well, yes, this layout is fun. I'm going to add foam to both of those die cut pieces so that they stand up to the height of the frame. Then I have another label that says Treat Yourself, because we do like to treat ourselves to Starbucks at least once a week. And I had to put a moratorium on that because we were going to Starbucks a lot. I would take her when she would finish school, and we would go to Starbucks a lot. And then finally I just said, you know what, we're just going to go once a week. So we usually go on Fridays to Starbucks, and then a lot more during the holiday season, but typically we go one day a week. Now here are those silvery stars, and I'm kind of thinking, where do I want to put those on the layout? I'm going to come back to that in a few. I found this little banner, and it says, or this little flag, it says Hooray, because of course it's always a great day when she gets her favorite cake ball at Starbucks. Add a little bit of adhesive to the little pole of that flag, and then of course put that there at the top. Now I will say, this wasn't intentional. I'm sort of creating a asymmetrical design, so a lot of the heaviness on the layout is centered towards or geared towards the right-hand side. The left-hand side, I'm going to put my title, which is Crazy Cake Ball Girl. When I saw that word cake from the little thickers foam, I guess it's foam elements. I guess it would be foam die cuts. I don't know what they're called, but they come with the kit. They go with the collection. And I saw that word cake. I thought it would be a really great way to have an interesting play with the title. And this is something that I like to do when I'm designing my titles, is I like to use either 1 to 2 or actually 2 to 3 different types of font. And if I have a more of a jazzed up element like that little word cake, then I want to add that into my title as well. It really makes it pop, because this layout is all about cake balls. And so when the opportunity is there, take advantage of it. So I'm spelling out Crazy Cake Ball Girl. I'm also using some more thickers. I want to say that this font's called Fitzgerald, but yes, it is called Fitzgerald. The other thickers, where I got the word cake from, is called Celebrate. Now, this whole collection is by Crate Paper. I want to say it's still available. If it is, I'm going to post a link in the description box below so you know where to find it if you like the collection. Now I'm going to add in the journaling, and it says, admittedly, we have a Starbucks addiction. In addition to grabbing our favorite drinks, you insist on having the cake pop, the pink cake pop. Sometimes I cave and allow you to have this sugary treat. I cannot read today. Other times I say no, because let's face it, Starbucks drinks have a load of sugar. But when you are allowed to have this tasty snack, you enjoy it until the last bite. Here comes those silvery glitter stars that I cut with my silhouette cameo for another project. Anytime I have an opportunity to use up any cutoffs or any extra bits, I want to do that because I don't want to waste the material. So I'm going to add that star there to the top, and it looks perfect. And then I'm trying to decide what I'm going to use, or how I'm going to use the other 2 remaining stars. I end up using the smaller one, and I'm going to position that right by the journaling. And the journaling I just typed up on my computer, printed it out, and cut out in journaling strips. That's my preferred way to journal on layouts. As I fussed and fussed with that, I ultimately decided it's just going to go right there by the journaling. I'm going to grab these stickers called Celebrate, and then I'm going to sort of float around some smaller silver glittery stars around the page. I'm going to fool with this for just a little bit. I decided I'm going to move a little cluster of those to the left-hand side of the title, adding those there. I thought I was happy with that, and I'm going to change it up here in just a second. I'm going to bring out some little puffy shapes that go with the Celebrate collection, and I decided I wanted to add a little bit more delineation with those glittery stars. So I'm going to replace one of them with this little foam. No, those are not foam. Those are puffy stars there in that cluster, and then one to the bottom where the journaling is. And then lastly, because, you know, I'm a glutton for punishment, I add some twine to a tag I already have adhered down to my layout, because that's how I roll, folks. If you've been with me for a long time, you know that's what I do. So I'm going to go ahead and add the twine and wrap that around the little hole there in the tag. And as I'm doing this, I did put a tiny bit of adhesive right there behind the tag so that that twine holds in place. And that actually worked out well. I didn't have to actually pull the tag up and off the layout. So here we go, an 8.5 by 11 layout using a birthday themed kit called Hooray for a layout that's not necessarily about birthday, but all about cake and cake balls. For a closer look at this layout, make sure you head on over to the Victoria Marie blog, and when you're there, make sure that you subscribe. And speaking of subscribing, if you like the content here on this channel and you want some more, make sure that you subscribe. When you do, click the bell. That way you'll know each and every time I post a new video to this channel. Thanks so much for stopping by.